Most of the videos I make on this channel are about how to travel light in just a personal item, but no matter whether I am bringing a carry-on or only a backpack, one thing I will always make space for in my bag is some kind of sling. When I'm at the airport, this is where I put all of my quick access stuff, like my phone, my wallet, my headphones, hand sanitizer, things like that. And then when I get to my actual destination, this is what I use as my day bag when I'm walking around, just like I would at home. But because of that, over the years, I have accumulated a ton of slings just trying to find like the perfect one. So I said this before on the channel, but I always get the best ideas from the comment. And when I got this comment earlier this year, I was like, Topologie? Like, what is that? And when I went to their website, I thought, why have I never heard of it? These are so cute and unique. I've never seen bags like this before. And it turns out that's because the brand is really popular in Asia, but when I was doing research, I couldn't find a ton of information from other people in English. So when Topologie reached out to me earlier this year and asked if I wanted to partner on a video, I was like, yes, yes, please. Their bags are inspired by rock climbing ropes. So basically you choose a bag and you customize it with these different straps. And what you end up with is not only like a cute, trendy sling or bag, but also something that is completely unique to you and that you can change and upgrade over time as well. They've sent me two of their most popular bags, the Bottle Sacoche in both the medium and the large size. So in today's video, we are going to customize these together, talk about the differences between these two sizes, which one might be better for you, and then I'm going to show you how I would pack these for different situations, from just my daily life at home to going on a trip. Here's what we'll be using. The first one is this like metallic marine blue color. It is the large Bottle Sacoche, and then I also have the standard size in this off-white kind of marshmallow color. There is one more mini size, but I'm just gonna call these medium and large. You can see that the large is actually a lot bigger than I thought. Both of the ones that I have are in this puffy style, but if you don't like that, they do have them in just like a normal bag type as well. And then what makes these unique, the reason they're called Bottle Sacoche is because it's actually divided into two. So between each side, there's a space where you could slide in a water bottle. And don't worry, we're gonna test some other sizes soon, but I wanna set them up and customize them first. The three straps I have are a bungee wrist strap in a white color, as well as an 8mm and a 6mm rope strap. These millimeter sizes refer to the thickness of the strap, not the actual length. They're both quite long, and they come with a knot already tied into them. So if you just wanted to toss them on, you could very easily just clip it onto the bag immediately and use it as a longer crossbody, or cinch it up and even use it as a shoulder bag. But what's the fun in that? We're gonna customize these today and tie some different knots. This is basically called the Wear system. They have not only a ton of bag options, but a ton of colors for each bag, and then like a lot of different straps. And part of that is actually customizing the straps. Thankfully, they do have tutorials on their website, because like I'm not a rock climber, I wouldn't know how to just like fold and tie these together. I started by trying to tie this one called a chain Sinet, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. And then I also practiced tying this butterfly knot. I will say it is a lot easier to tie the 6mm cables. They're much more flexible just because they're thinner, and these can be a little bit stiff at first. I'm sure as you use them over time, they'll loosen up. But I started by doing this on my desk and ended up moving to my couch just because it was easier to like twist and manipulate everything when it was my lap. So this is what I ended up with in the end. I took this 8mm strap and kind of added the chain Sinet as a little accessory to it. So it's on one side, and then the other side is where I have the adjustable strap, which means that I'm able to turn this into a shoulder bag by adjusting the strap to the smallest size it can be. Or if I go ahead and loosen it, this is now long enough for me to use as a crossbody bag. And I want to show you a little trick. This strap comes with this little ring on it. When you're adjusting it, if you push that ring up here by the knot, it moves really, really smoothly. Kind of like this, so that it's easy to adjust. And then when you want, you can actually move it to the end, and it keeps the straps a little neater. But if you leave it down here at the end when you're trying to change the length, it can get kind of stuck on that. So what I would suggest is to just move it to the top of the knot before you adjust the actual length of the rope. And then for my 6mm rope strap, I ended up doing a cute little butterfly knot, but I doubled it up because I was having a hard time getting it to be short enough to hang across the front of the bag. So by doubling it up, I basically divided the length of it in half. But it was a little bit challenging to tie these. I had to try a couple times to get the correct distance for this first knot, but once I figured it out, I think it looks really cute. I really love the way that the light blue strap looks with the white bag. And then what I did is added these shorter ones as accessories to the front of the blue bag. And when I want to use the blue bag, I'll just take that main strap off the white one and put it on here. If I wanted to over time, I could also change the knots or adjust them, mix and match. I just really like the whole philosophy behind this. But now I need to actually look at these bags and the differences between them, because before you even get to customizing it, you need to know which one actually would work best for you. Looking at the actual pockets and layout of the bag, they are pretty much identical. When you turn these bags to the side, you can see that one pocket doesn't go down quite as far as the other. And I'm gonna call this the front pocket because that's where the logo is on the front of the bag. And then when you open the bags, the layout is identical between them, though obviously different sizes. When you open the front pocket, you'll notice there are 3 additional pockets inside. On one side are this 2/3 and 1/3 divider pocket that you can slide things into. And then on the other side is an elastic mesh pocket that spans the entire length of the bag. And if you're curious about the dimensions for each of these on both sizes, I'm gonna put those in the description for you. Moving to the back, you'll see once again that we have 3 pockets. However, instead of being a 2/3 and 1/3 division, these outer sliding pockets are divided in half, and the full-size pocket has the same fabric as the liner rather than a stretchy mesh. Along the top of the bag, you have this nice extra stitched fabric along the top. It includes a carrying handle, and then there are also 2 additional loops where you could attach the straps. Now, on the large bottle sacoche, this second loop is much bigger. It's kind of small on the medium sacoche. It would be a bit difficult to connect a strap. You'd have to finagle it a little bit, but there are 2 attachment points on each side for these. And then moving to the bottle compartment. You can access this from the side of the bag, and then on the bottom are actually these bungees that allow it to stretch and conform and hold the bottle tightly so it doesn't come out. I also noticed that they added a different fabric to the water bottle pocket. It's a water repellent fabric, so if there are any spills or you put a wet umbrella inside, it's not gonna seep through and get the rest of your things wet inside of it. And I really like that little detail. And now I think we should actually compare each of these and see what size water bottle you can fit, because this is one of the things I was most curious about when looking at them online. I have 3 bottles with me. Of course, my 24-ounce insulated Owala. I also found this metal thermos. I used to use this like when we lived in France, walking around for tea and stuff, but it is more narrow. So I'm pretty sure this one will work well. And then finally, I don't have a really big, thick water bottle, so I grabbed this shaker bottle just because it's a little wider, so we can see how well that fits in there. Now with the smaller bag, it's not gonna be as long. This is about 9.5 inches wide. So if you do have a longer bottle, it's probably gonna stick out at the end, but they have thought of this. So I'm gonna show you while I test this first one. This one being narrow slides in pretty easily. The only thing about these bags is because you're putting something in the middle, you can lose a little bit of access to those interior ones. And so actually I think that I'll test these bottles again when I pack them as well in a minute. Let's test the 24-ounce Owala. Okay, this kind of fills up the space quite a bit. This really looks like the max size you should put in there. As you can see, it really fills out the end. There's no extra space around it. So I don't think the shaker bottle will fit. It's more narrow on the end, but actually it does. So the shaker bottle does fit, but we do lose a lot of interior space because of that. But it fits. As a comparison, let me show you what these look like on the larger size. This narrow bottle has a ton of space. The 24-ounce Owala is kind of the same thing. If I push it to the bottom, there's still a good amount of space on top of it. The shaker bottle even has a little extra space on top of it as well. Now, looking at these 2 bags, I would probably use them in different ways. This smaller size, the standard bottle sacoche, is more similar to what I would use as an everyday sling, kind of like the Lululemon belt bag or something like that. It's very compact. This is probably what I would take on a trip just because it is a bit bigger and I'm typically bringing more stuff. I am curious to test this out though and see if my camera equipment will fit in it. Please, please, please. First, let's go ahead and pack out this little one. This is what I would usually bring in an everyday bag. I have my wallet, my phone tripod, my keys, my chapstick, lip gloss, some cuticle stuff, headphones, eye drops because my eyes are always dry, as well as my little bug bite zapper. I also typically bring some kind of snack because I always forget to eat until the very last minute and I'm like starving and I can't think straight. And then sometimes I will also bring along my Kindle, especially if I'm going to be out for a while, going on a walk. I like to stop and read occasionally. And I'm trying to remember to bring these more often. These are earplugs just because live music when we go to restaurants can be so loud and it almost hurts my ears a little bit. So I'm trying to remember to pack these more often, as well as, of course, my phone. We can't forget that, though I'm using it to record. So in the front, I'm going to put my wallet with all of my cards. And then I think in this smaller one, I'm gonna slide my keys and my chapstick because I reach for those a lot. Wow, this actually has quite a good amount of space. And then let me move to the back and I'll put the things I don't use as much. So like my phone tripod, I'll put back there. Probably my lip gloss. I can't stand it up vertically, so I'm gonna put it flat. And my cuticle cream. No, I can't stand that up vertically as well. I'm gonna slide those into this larger back pocket. But what I am gonna put in here are my headphones, my little bug bite zapper, and then I think my eye drops because those will fit down next to it as well. And then I'll just tuck my earplugs into this flat pocket too. My sunglasses, I'm gonna move to the front. No, maybe my Kindle. Will my Kindle fit in here? Oh, actually I don't think my Kindle will fit. No, my Kindle is too tall, so no Kindle in this. I'm gonna put that to the side, but that's all right. And then my snacks, I'm just gonna slide into the back, and my sunglasses, maybe just in this elastic pocket at the front. And that is typically what I would bring in my everyday bag. Here's what it looks like when it's packed out. Of course, this is a puffy bag, so it wouldn't be this big in general, but let's go ahead and try those water bottles in there again as well. Let's do the small, more narrow one first. It is a little bit harder to slide these in here now because I have all of that stuff. I actually wish that these bungees on the bottom could be loosened even more. Here's what it looks like packed out with the more narrow bottle. On this regular size, I really don't know if I would use anything bigger than a narrow bottle. And now when I open it again, it's kind of like I have to put my stuff more towards the top of the pocket, especially larger things like my snacks that are a little bit thicker. I'm curious, as the bungees loosen over time, whether that will change. Let's go ahead and try it with the 24-ounce wallet. I'm really not sure whether this one's gonna fit in this smaller size. Oh, no, it does. It fits fine. This one is definitely much more snug. And then when I open the pockets, yeah, it's tight in there, which makes sense, you know, it's gonna put pressure on them. I would not use anything larger than this 24-ounce Owala. Now, how I might typically use this a bit more, like I said, is maybe slide a tripod in here or an umbrella in case it's raining because those aren't quite as thick. And then because you have these leashes on here, you could very easily attach a carabiner and then hang your water bottle from that instead. And that is an option if you do like this smaller size, but you have a bigger water bottle that might not fit, you could still do that very easily. So I'm gonna move all of the stuff that I typically bring in my everyday bag and add a couple more items to this larger size. Now, when I'm traveling, I use pretty much all the same things, but I'm also bringing along some kind of power bank, my passport, maybe some tissues, hand sanitizer, and if possible, I would really love if I could fit my camera in this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit my full-size camera that I'm recording this with, but I think I might be able to fit this smaller vlog size camera. All right, let's fill out that front pocket. Ooh, and in this one, my Kindle actually fits in that larger 2/3 open pocket that's in the front. And I think next to that, let me see if I can fit, yeah, my wallet almost fits in there, though it's a little bit too wide. Let me see if my power bank fits in there. Ooh, yeah, so I might slide my power bank there. And then maybe I'll slide my passport into the large mesh pocket, as well as some tissues. And then in the back side of the bag, I'm gonna put my wallet, as well as my phone tripod, my headphones, and my chapstick. I'll just toss my keys in this open pocket along with my lip gloss and cuticle oil. I'm gonna just toss my eye drops in that big pocket, my bug zapper, my earplugs, and then I think my sunglasses will fit on top of that as well. But let's see if I can fit this camera stuff somewhere in here. Oh, and my hand sanitizer. Almost forgot about that. I'm gonna fit my hand sanitizer next to my passport because I can just stand those up straight. But ooh, it's not looking like I'm gonna have space for my camera. I think if maybe I switch some things out, instead of putting my phone tripod in there, let me put my little filming stuff at the back. Maybe move my wallet to the front. Oh, and I do have space for my extra batteries too. I'll just slide my headphones next to that, put my little MagSafe tripod at the front, and just slide my wallet. And yeah, okay, I think that works. I think I definitely prefer this larger bag just because you have a little bit more vertical space, and because of that, you have more room to put things on top as well, if that makes sense. All right, let's try to put a water bottle in here. It is feeling snug. I wish these bungees were just like a little bit longer so that I could have more space to slide the bottles in, because it feels tight at first. I like this waterproof fabric, but it makes it a little difficult to slide these in. So here is my most narrow bottle here at the top with the bag fully stuffed out. Not too bad. Let's try opening these zippers on the front. It definitely pushes everything forward and out, but it's still, you know, relatively easy to access things. I'm not having a hard time pulling stuff in and out. Let's try that back pocket. And then I feel like my glasses, I need to be careful with those. I can still relatively easily access all of this little stuff. Let's go ahead and try with the 24-ounce bottle. And I ended up taking my glasses out. There we go. I think that the bottle is getting caught on things that I have on the inside. Oh yeah, it's getting caught on the little things I have in those big flat pockets. I'm gonna keep this closer to the top. Let me see how easy it is to pull. Okay, easy enough to pull in and out. Oh, it just went in a lot more easily that second time. Because all of the stuff is more at the bottom of the bag, if you slide it in near the top, that's where there's more open space, and so it's easier to slide in and out that way. The only thing is, it tends to then put the pressure on the zippers rather than the bungee, but all of my stuff is like at the bottom of those pockets. Despite this being larger, because you're putting stuff into the middle of the bag, that's gonna make all of those pockets feel smaller and tighter. So you can kind of think of it like two small slings and then a larger water bottle area in the center. But if you are getting this and you plan to put something in the center of it, I definitely would suggest some smaller, more narrow bottle. Even with this 24-ounce wallet, I think it just may be a little bit too wide unless those bungee straps loosen over time. This is my first time packing it out, so if they do loosen, I'll make sure to provide an update in the comments. Here is my travel tripod I like to bring on trips and just use with my phone. So this is quite narrow. It should fit in here easily. Yeah, I mean, that's super simple. Wrap my little bungee around it. Okay, so I think this is definitely best suited to a smaller water bottle or a narrow tripod or umbrella, because as you slide that water bottle into the interior, you're gonna lose space from those pockets on the side. So long as you're packing them light, I think that's okay. But for me personally, I will probably use the interior space for a tripod or an umbrella and still use a carabiner to attach my water bottle to the outside of the bag, kind of where those hook straps attach as well. I was looking at their website, and if you want a little bit more space, but to give up the water bottle access, they do have another bag called the Beisachi, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'll put the name here, that is about the same size as this, but is one large compartment and no longer has that water bottle section. So that may be another good option for you as well. I have to say, I think these are really cool, unique bags. I've never seen other slings like this before. Most of them kind of just like blend together. So if you're like me and you like that kind of like fun, playful, maybe a maximalist look, and you want something that's unique that no one else is gonna have, I still think this is a very good option. Just make sure that you get the right size based on the amount of things that you want to put inside, and consider using a smaller water bottle. I will put links to all of the exact products that I used, as well as the colors and the names in the description. And I'm curious to hear what you typically take in your everyday bag versus a travel bag. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!